This is my overly creamed coffee. It's going to be a very long day. I'll tell you why on the way. Guess what? It looks like I'm going to church this morning. Well, I am because I work there, but look at this sweat. It's so still humid. So it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I probably won't get home till after 8 if I stay for everything that goes on today. But for the first time, I get to do a business meeting regarding all that business stuff that church financial secretaries do. I've been doing this job not a whole month yet, almost, but there's a lot more to it than one realizes. Let me hold this coffee because I do not need to spill that today. There's lots of things, like a giant key ring that you could knock somebody out with. I gotta turn down this so you can hear me. Yeah, I could hurt somebody with that in my purse. I'll hurt myself if it hit me in the face. It's more of a ministry. Pretty much any job at a church is more of a ministry. And I'm enjoying it because I've done the type of work before. But just in a different way, I guess you could say. In a different capacity, more like in the construction field. Though not entirely responsible. I was sort of in the middle when I worked in the company that was considered sort of like construction. Anyhow, I just wanted to tell y'all, all y'all new subscribers, that Kevin Lake sent over, and I mentioned Kevin on my channel. Comes car. I mention him on my channel once in a while because I've been following him like since 2018. And I mean, I would just listen to the morning rambles in the car as I was driving home, because I do this YouTube premium thing where you can just like blacken your screen and just listen as a podcast. So in the car, I would listen to the morning rambles all the time. And I'm one of those people that can follow a morning ramble or Kevin's rabbit trails because I tend to be the same way when I talk. I have to catch myself. And it's sort of an ADD thing that I never realized I had. Because in the past now, I've worked with ADD kids and different kids that the public school system says 504 IEP plans for. And I guess that's why I got it so well. Anyway, I'm just so thankful for Kevin noticing that I work on my channel. The reason that I worked on, because I've had the channel since God knows when, 2012, I guess. But I never did a whole lot with it. It was more of like a storage space. But when Kevin started talking about working on one's channel a few years ago, and he just kept plowing away at it, I was like, I am too. And so I started just making videos. A lot of them are faith-based, and a lot have faith-based humor in them, because some faith-based things can be so dry, but God has a sense of humor. I'll tell you one of the latest senses of humor that God has. Well, I mentioned working in the construction type industry before, and my boss, I love him to death. I will always love this man, and the whole company, the people, just love him. We're all still friends. But his personality was very demanding. He was a bit ADD. He was hyper. And I have a new boss who's new to this area in general. And he's awesome. He is. But he has a lot of these tendencies that my former boss had that sometimes would get on my nerves. Now, not that would get on my nerves, but it would be like, oh. But, for instance, this is so funny. He was looking at things, and you know how when you look at something all the time, after a while you don't notice it? He was looking at things around the facility and was like, why is this here? throw this away. Let's clear this out. Put it to the road. And he was just throwing stuff away. And some of the older ladies were like, ah. And I was one of the women that came out of the office like a flea market shopper, you know, seeing what useful thing can I get out of here? Because, I mean, there was some good stuff in there, but it was just taking up space. And he wanted it gone. That is totally like my former boss. He would just go through and start chunking. And I'll be like, why'd you throw that away? I just bought that cleaner. Or why'd you do this? Or what? And he's like, oh, you know, because he just would throw. And then another thing that was hilarious is whenever my old boss would glance over a Facebook promotion post and approve it, but then he or somebody else would bring something to his attention that was off or something, and I would get phone calls or texts in the middle of the night, you know, not middle of the night, but after I've gone to bed. You know, I'm an early going to bed person, and I'd be like, what is this? And I'm like, you're really bothering me about this now. In my head, I'm thinking the old boss, but, you know, I'd be like, you're the one that approved it. Okay, I'll fix it. Well, same thing sort of happened, but you know, he had just glanced, the new boss had just glanced at it. Well, after I was in bed, I got a call. There was 2 L's in a word. That when I copied and pasted something over, my thumb must have jumped and somewhere, and there was an extra L or an I. I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel this. This is like deja vu. And then and then he's just always moving around really fast. Like my old boss, he never had a slow speed. This guy don't either. The difference, one of the differences is though that whereas this new boss is a preacher, old boss is construction related. Old boss used to bring us margaritas and stuff after work. New boss says, hey, let's go to the track. But it's hilarious. Like, I have to let him know that God had a sense of humor, because I have the preacher version of him kind of now. It's so funny. I mean, I guess you have to be there to get it, but I just see it as God's sense of humor, that the whole time I was working at the previous job, he was sort of preparing me for what I was going to do later, because I knew after a while I wasn't supposed to be there, and I kept praying about, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So I took and I still work as a part-time teacher on my day off, and I worked there for a while, and then this job came up, and I, by God's provision, got it. And I'm doing the same sort of administrative duties, similar, and now with the similar personality, just the preacher version. It cracks me up. God just has that way, and God knows what he's doing the whole time. And I don't see how anybody can doubt the existence of God, but I mean, if you've been through terrible things, I could see how that would be. I mean, I know people that've been through terrible things, and they question a lot, and I understand that not everybody's faith is the same, and those people I love anyway. So if you're new to the channel and your faith is different than mine, heck, it might even be a different church. I always consider myself sort of a Catholic Pentecostal, because I am affiliated with one particular religion, but I have been affiliated with the others, and I took the things from the others that make me who I am. So I need to get in and get to work, because today's going to be a busy day, because the business meeting and all my work that's piled up, because it just does. All right. Love y'all. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you, Kevin, for acknowledging all the work I put into this thing. Bye.